What is good, YouTube? It's your girl Trvllofficial, and I am back with another video for y'all today. Now, as y'all see by the title, a lot of people keep on asking me, why haven't I been working in the shop, right? Because if y'all know from one of my vlogs, and I think it was Vlogtober, I had made a video stating that I was going to be in a new shop. That didn't really last too long, and I'm going to tell y'all why. But before I even get into this video, please go ahead and drop that like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, my name is Trill. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. As y'all see on the wall, I have a barber expo thing, right? It's not a real certificate. It's not a certificate where I got a degree or anything. Not a degree, a certificate for cutting hair. So I had a barber that used to cut my hair. We're still very cool, close. And he let me know that he had a barber expo class going on. It was like beginner friendly. So I decided to go to support him. But not only just support him, but also like see his tips and tricks that he has in regards of cutting hair. I pretty much mastered it, but it's always good to like go out there and get more information, right? So as I'm in there, there's a guy. There's like 12 people, but there's a guy sitting about 4 chairs down from me. And my barber, he, of course, I call him my barber. He's not my barber anymore, but he's still my barber. He introduces us all together as a class, and one thing he pointed out is the fact that I was TikTok famous and Instagram famous and stuff. So I decided to, you know, greet myself, let everybody know who I was, what I do, letting people also know that I cut hair and that he is somebody that did inspire me, but I don't do it full time. So fast forward the end of the show, I was asking a lot of questions in the during the expo, and it wasn't too many people asking but me and this other guy and one other girl in there. Mind you, it's like 12 people. So I feel like with us 3 being the ones that was like more so into what was going on, I think the guy that I was telling you, it was 4 seats down, I think the guy was like shocked that I was even doing this. So once it was all over, he came up to me and he was like, oh, so you cut hair? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't do it full time. I've been knowing him for X, Y, and Z. I was just coming to get some tips and tricks. So he tells me that he's been doing this for years on top of years on top of years on top of years. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I noticed he was asking a lot of questions in there as well, as you know, and he is a OG barber technically. So I'm like, yeah, I said, he was like, have you ever worked in a shop before? And I'm like, no. I said, I really don't want to work in a shop. I prefer to work on my own, but not even just that, I'm not a full-time barber. So I'm like, I'm not a full-time barber. I never really wanted to work in a shop, but if the opportunity presented itself and it sounded right, maybe. I didn't even say that though. So he told me that he was opening up a shop, and he told me the location. I'm like, oh, that's like 10 minutes from my house. He like, oh yeah, cool. You know, this is my neighborhood. I pretty much was like raised over here and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So his brother was there as well as his son, and I think nephew or something like that. So long story short, I ended up telling him that no, he was like, so yeah, I'm looking for some new barbers and stuff like that, and I don't want like OG barbers that's been cutting hair before. I don't want to make this a hustle shop. Keep that in mind. So I'm like, nah, I completely understand, especially like he was telling me his background, his story on where he came from and like the things he did wrong in the past, and now where he's at right now, like he's taking this serious. So I'm like, oh no, I understand, like I get it, trust and believe. So he was still talking. He talks a whole lot. He was still talking, and then all of a sudden he was like, yeah, he was like, well, you know, if you you ever want to come and stop by, you know, let me know. And I'm like, yeah. He was like I'm serious, like if you want to start cutting hair, you know, I got a chair open, it's yours, and X, Y, and Z. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking into it, but I'm not like thinking into it, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't. So of course I had told Vanessa about it. I told somebody else, I feel like, but yeah, so I'm like, you know, I was feeling good because it was like I was able to network, you know what I'm saying? Not just with him, but it was other people in there that I was networking with. So it was a good networking opportunity. I didn't think that I would end up being in the shop, but he called me one day on the phone, and I was downtown doing Uber and stuff like that. I also let him know that at the expo too, that I did Uber and I made content. I told him that I was a YouTuber. I told him that's the reason why I'm not a full-time barber, because I don't just make content in regards of hair. Yes, that is what I've been doing a lot lately, because I see a lot of people are liking that. But if you look at my content, you see that I'm doing myself. Like I'm not doing a whole lot of people, even though I have a lot of clients. So it's not like I don't have any clients at all. It's just I primarily really just cut my own hair, and I promote that. you know, and then now I'm working with companies that want me to work with them in regards of self-cut. He didn't know all of that, like with me working with companies, but he knew that I was a content creator. So it's like I can't fully be in tune with what you have going on, you know what I'm saying, if we were to work together. So he called me on the phone one day. He asked me if I wanted to come by the shop. Was I doing anything? It was slow on Uber, so I'm like, forget it, I'll just go, right? So I go to the shop. All of a sudden, as I go up there, I'm looking at the shop. There's 3 chairs in there. It's him. He has a nephew that's supposed to be there. At the time, it was just me and him, I believe. And like, I think he had 2 clients. And then what was supposed to be my chair. I'm looking at the shop. I thought it was a nice little updated shop. Very small, which I said I wanted a small shop myself. I still don't want to be in a big shop though, even if I was working with people. So it was working for me. So I was like, okay, this is cool. He started giving me the rundown of like what he wants and the deal that we would make when it comes to booth rent and when it comes to like so we made up something in regard to that. So then we sitting down, we talking about it. He's telling me about how he wants to run the shop. So now he's telling me that these are the prices. Mind you, my haircuts was already $45-50, right? He was charging $35 for a haircut, and then kids was like $15. And I'm like, you're not really making a profit when you doing it like that. Like, if that's the case, I could be outside doing Uber and Lyft making $35 an hour. Like, you know, it didn't make sense to me, but I was still like winging it. So he was saying like we all have to go off our own prices or whatever. I mean, not our own prices. We all have to go off the shop prices. And then he was telling me to create if I am down, you know, like to create a schedule. So moving into the schedule, I told him, he asked me when did I want to work, and I told him even at the expo, I said I really don't want to start till November, and I got proof. I literally said I don't want to start till November, and he was like, I don't know. He was like, you're gonna be missing out on a lot of money, and I'm like, I understand that in regards of cutting hair, but I do have clients that I take monthly. But not only that, I have other things, other sources of income, so that would never be an issue. It's just that I don't want to take a chance sitting on a slow day when I could be doing something that's actually bringing in the money. Now, if I wasn't about to leave or anything, like going, because I was ready to go on a trip. So I had told him, like, you know, nah, I need every penny that I get. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't slack, because I don't want to be across the country with no money in my pocket. Like, that wasn't going to work for me. So I was telling him, not even just that, though. I said I had stuff lined up and promos to do, like promos to do in the house, promos to do outside. Telling him, like, my schedule and, like, the days that I could work. I told him right now I would have to do Monday through Thursday, like, I think I told him 11 or 12 to like 6, 7, which I think was pretty fair considering I just said I'm not a full-time barber. So he was like, can you sacrifice a weekend, or like not a weekend, can you sacrifice a weekend day? So I was like, I don't know, because I usually do Uber and Lyft Friday through Sunday. Those are the best days to do it. Like, that's already like $1,200 to $1,500 in 3 days right there that I would be missing out on. Not that I want to do that for the rest of my life, but right now, since I'm about to leave, I don't want to sacrifice it. That's money I could be bringing in. So I was like, maybe a Friday, possibly, or because he said Sunday they were closed. So I'm like, okay, maybe a Friday, or maybe I can alter my weekend. So like one weekend I come in, one weekend I don't. He's like, well, no, the only thing is y'all going to be on the books and stuff like that. So I have to have your actual schedule out because it's going to go into a booking app. So I'm like, okay, well, do you have the booking app now? He was like, no, I'm in the process of getting one. So I said, okay. He didn't end up getting one until I think it was like 2 weeks in, and I was already getting kind of frustrated because I had clients that I'm taking on social media, but I have nowhere to send them. So I told him my hours. He told me, okay, like we could work it out, and you know, like when I come back too, also to give him my set schedule. So I was like, okay, you know, that works for me. I remember calling off 2 times. I was coming in at the time I told him I was going to come in. To the point where sometimes I was in there like not even taking a break. We end up making a deal, and I ended up working at the shop. And like I said, I had took 2 days off. That was pretty much it. And I was letting him know, I was being like open and honest, like, you know, I have to cut this out, or I have to come in at this time because I have a promo over here, or I have a promo there, or I have to do this, I had to do that, which I had already told him when we was at the shop. I said that on a in person. So he was like, okay, it's cool, you know, just like I said, just stick with your schedule and be consistent, and, you know, X, Y, Z. I'm like, okay. Never said I was not going to not come in, but if I'm telling you I might have to push my hours a little bit back because something is going on. We coming into the week of my trip. So let me go into the trip. So before I ended up leaving, I tell him, these are the dates that I'm leaving. I will be back on this day, possibly this day, right? He said, okay, that's cool. He said, well, send me your schedule now for when you come back so I can block you off the books for right now. So I said, okay. So I said, okay. So I told him I could do Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 6 or 10 to 7. That's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 9 hours technically, right? So then he tells me, because I'm sacrificing a weekend day and I'm also coming in at least 4 days out of the week, right? And technically 4 out of 6 because y'all close on Sunday. So he lets me know before this, I'm gonna roll it back, that he hired somebody. I'm not gonna spill the details on that, but somebody that said they needed some money and they was willing to work 7 days out of the week, and he was gonna leave the shop open on a Sunday for him. I said, that's good. He was basically saying that this guy was gonna be a floater between me, him, and his nephew. I said, okay, that's great. I go on my trip. I noticed he had took me off the books, right? Because one of my clients had told me that they were trying to book with me and it wasn't popping up. So I was like, oh, maybe it's because it's still blocked off because he think I'm still not coming back or something, like, which I had told him when I was coming back. I let him know. And on top of that, when I asked him, I said, which day do you want me to come in? He said, because I told him Wednesday through Saturday, he told me, let's start fresh on a new week. Mind you, when I came back, it was on a Tuesday. It was on the 8th. If I'm willing to come in tomorrow, because I said Wednesday through Saturday, why in the world will I skip 4 days just to come in on that next week? Now I'm missing 2 more days onto that Wednesday. That makes no sense. So I'm like, So one day, I'm gonna jump back. One day, I seen that he had a hair braider sitting in the washing station. I was like, okay, now this is starting to look like a hustle shop. Now this is starting to look like, which I understand, you know, this is your baby. You got money to make. You got bills to pay. I get it. But don't preach something like that and then move like that. Mind you, y'all seen the video when he literally sat up there and said, you know, you family now. You family. Like, I don't want this to be a hustle shop. Woo, whatever. So I end up, you know, reaching out to him, telling him I come in Wednesday through Saturday, and all of a sudden I'm getting a text saying, I'm sorry, I wish we could have worked something out, but unfortunately I gotta do what's best for the shop. I have somebody that wants to work full time, blah 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 blah. All I said was, okay. I could have said something, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm not the one stressed. It was you. But not only just that, you are somebody that literally told me to my face, and not even just one time, you said it multiple times. He's a talker. So it was like, you said this so many times, it had me kind of questioning you, like raising an eyebrow, because I thought he was very genuine, you know what I'm saying? And I still feel like he's a good person, but I feel like towards the end he started to switch it up, and I was just like, no. Because the thing is, and this is what somebody else told me, maybe you were also holding on because you knew my status, you feel me? So it's like, not only just that, if I'm bringing in your client from all over, mind you, I had a social media profile where my clients was coming from. Not only did I got family, friends that want to get a haircut, but I have a bonus because I have a status. So like, I had a lot of clientele coming in, more than his nephew, you know what I'm saying? He was an old school kind of guy. Like, he had people from like walk-ins, like just random walk-ins, and I was telling him, like, man, if you're gonna have walk-ins, that's fine, but like, you can't move off of a shop with walk-ins. I said, this is, first of all, we're dealing with inflation. This is a new world, a new generation. Stuff ain't cheap, you know what I'm saying? So like, my thing is, and I've told all my customers, is if you cancel within the 24-hour window frame, you have to pay your full price on your cut. I don't care. Like, no, because that's the thing, you're wasting my time, you know? So I want to still be able to receive my money if you don't show up. Now, if you cancel 2-3 days in advance, the reason why I say that is because at least I could try to fill in that slot, you know. But if you are somebody that cancels within 24 hours in that time frame, then no, I'm missing out on money. That's money I could have been making, you know. So that's something we was clashing. I was telling him, like, you need to have a policy in regards to that, even if it's 50% deposit, you know what I'm saying? Like, my house calls are 50% deposit, because if you end up canceling, you're still giving me something, versus me driving all the way to you, which has happened to me, driving all the way to you just for you to cancel. No, I'm not doing it. So like, I don't know, call me greedy, whatever. I don't look at it as being greedy, but I know some people may. I don't look at it as being greedy. I look at it as, don't waste my time, you know what I'm saying? And I told him, you know, I said, okay, but my thing is, you disappointed yourself. You didn't disappoint me. If anything, I kind of like felt it coming on when my client hit me up. Not even just one client, but 2 clients hit me up saying that I was off the books. And I said, okay, mind you, I'm still in Miami while all this is going down. I'm not even in Chicago yet. Like, I had my clients hitting me up on the weekend. Like, they were hitting me. Imagine, I was out of town for like almost a week and a half. Yeah, so mind you, I was already like getting people hitting me up saying that I was off the books. I'm like, wow. I didn't think it was gonna be that. I thought like maybe he just never took me off, but that already raised eyebrow, because like that means that you was plotting. You knew, like, once you found somebody to fill the position, you was like, okay, I don't need you no more. But you was definitely just talking that talk all in my face about content, about collabing, about coming together as a channel. No, that was never gonna happen. Number one, I said that too. I said I think you should stay what you're doing and I do what I do. So my thing is, if you're gonna say something like that to me, if you're gonna be doing all that, we family and this is not a hustle shop and stuff like that, you may have good intentions, but don't preach something like that to me, to a stranger, because I'm already in a different setting. This is different for me. So like, for my first experience, I'm glad I was able to learn a few things there. And I hope they were able to learn something from me. I've been telling people all the time, like, I want my own thing. I don't want to be under somebody, because that comes with a lot. No flexibility. They may talk that talk like you're going to get all the flexibility in the world, but then stuff like this happens and you like. So more of the story is, I don't think I want to work under anybody. I know I don't want to work for nobody, but like, when it comes to something that I am passionate about, because I do enjoy cutting hair, I just don't want to do it full time. At least not right now. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to get my self off the ground and then get myself settled. I am still taking house calls, I am still taking haircuts, all of that, you know, but I am primarily just doing mobile services right now. Me personally, I don't like that, you know what I'm saying, because I'm not going to try to lead somebody on and then do something fishy like that. Like, and it was other stuff that I notated, that I had my eyebrow, you know, a little raised, but I didn't say nothing. I just bit my tongue, you know, because I was still new. He was still new to me. I was just notating things, and it was a lesson. It was definitely a lesson. I'm not saying that I will be able to never work with somebody again. I'm just saying preferably I would choose not to. I had somebody else hit me up, and I met up with them, and they were in the bigger shop, and I wouldn't mind, you know, still cutting hair, but I personally don't think it would be in another shop. And if it was to be in another shop, I would have to like really fill it out. They would have to we would like pretty much make a contract, you know what I'm saying, so that you don't just choose to just kick me out whenever you want to, whenever you feel like it. You know, I didn't like that. I felt blindsided by that, because, and like I said, I have no ill will, I ain't got no ill intention, but if you told me I was coming back, if I told you that I was going on a trip, I told you that I would be, I sent him a whole paragraph letting him know, like, I don't ever want you to think I'm trying to like not take this serious or anything, but I have a lot of stuff going on right now. Not only that, I'm about to leave, so I have to focus on these things right now. This is why I said I don't want to work until after I come back. And I let him know that. I let him know that more than once. So like, you could never sit up there and say you were blindsided, because you know good and well I did not say that. I never said that, ever. Like, I never said, okay, yeah, cool, I'll come in every single day, 6 days out of the week. I can completely understand. But I didn't do that. So you disappointed yourself, number one. Number two, the reason why I say I felt blindsided is because I'm going on a trip thinking that when I come back, I am going to be able to be in there from Wednesday to Saturday and be able to set. I had made a whole schedule. And I'm not talking about just for that week. I'm talking about future-wise. Like, I told him as well that I was also not going to be here forever. I let him know, like, I am trying to leave. I am trying to move. So, like, I'm not going to be here for a very long time. He knew that. So, it's like, you know these things, but you steady taking a chance on me. Then all of a sudden, I go out of town. You switch up. You weird. That's weird. Like, that's very weird. That's strange. I don't think I want to work for somebody again. I really don't. I don't want to. But it was a cool experience. I was able to learn how to cut different heads, and I appreciated that. I appreciate the knowledge and stuff like that, but as far as that, no, never again. But yeah, y'all, you already know, man. Like I said, it's Trill, keeping it real. I look crazy. I love y'all, man. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? This is his loss. Cause G, tell me who cut better than me, bro. Where? Let me tell you something, baby. It's Trvllofficial. Don't play with me. Play with your mama. Y'all already know the vibes. We out. I love y'all. I will see y'all next time.